Thank you all, and thank you to the sponsors who have worked so hard to make this conference such a huge success. And first of all, you must all be wondering what a monk is doing here and in this empowerment conference. Well, monks talk about philosophy, right? And I'm going to talk about the philosophy of empowerment. And it was about 33 years ago, I went on a spiritual journey, and I was tired of leading a worldly life. So I went on a spiritual journey to see what I can give and what I should do in this world. And I met a woman who was an extraordinary woman, and her name is Amma. And when I met her 33 years ago, she was not that well known, and she used to just meet people in a small village in Kerala, in the southern part of India. And when I met her, the fact that she was giving was what captured my mind. And all I did was I transferred my monkey mind. At that time, it was so active, and I did not know what to do with this. And I told her, you take it, and you take care of it, and let's see what happens. So I'm just going to show you a video right now about who she is.
Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, affectionately known as Amma, dedicates literally every day of her life to consoling suffering people all over the world. Her message and the essence of her compassion is expressed in her darshan, the motherly embrace she has given to more than 33 million people throughout her life. She has been known to give darshan for more than 22 hours without interruption. When people pour out their hearts to Amma, she offers them emotional solace, spiritual guidance, and concrete solutions to their problems. Receiving Amma's embrace, many feel inspired to offer selfless service to those in need. In this way, this simple yet powerful act has become both catalyst and symbol for a growing international network of humanitarian initiatives known collectively as Embracing the World.
Embracing the World is a global network of regional humanitarian organizations inspired by the India-based humanitarian initiatives of the Mata Amritanandamayi Mat. Embracing the World exists to help alleviate the burden of the world's poor through helping to meet each of their 5 basic needs: food, shelter, education, healthcare, and livelihood, wherever and whenever possible. We are especially focused on helping to meet these needs in the aftermath of major disasters. Augmenting these efforts, we work in the fields of environmental conservation and sustainability to help protect the future of our fragile planet. Through Amrita University, our researchers are innovating new means of delivery of goods, knowledge, information, energy, and healthcare to enable us to help those in need here and now, wherever they are.
Leading by example, Amma has built up an international network of dedicated volunteers, ready to take on any challenge for the sake of building a better world.
So, as you have seen in this video, Amma sits for hours together and gives hugs people whosoever comes to her unconditionally of their caste, race, or sex, or age. And in one sense, it's such a meditation just to sit and watch her. And that's what I used to do in the beginning. And then what happened was slowly I started thinking, what's the use of just sitting there and doing nothing? And when she is sitting for hours and hours together, just foregoing food and sleep, she used to just sit for 18 to 20 hours a day. And then it struck me that, I have also to give something back to the society, just the way she is giving. So that's when I started my journey. Not only it's about philosophy, but it's also giving back to the society, which we take. And initially, my take on this was that if I have to give to somebody something, I have to receive something back, right? And without which there's no point in giving. So I used to always count, or I always used to manipulate as to why or how I should give. It was one day that it just opened my eyes when one day when this poor woman came to Amma, and she was crying and she was saying that daughter was getting married, and she did not even have any money to give anything to her, and forget that, and they have to buy new clothes and they have to buy ornaments for her and all these things. So Amma said to the person who was sitting on the side, she turned around and said, "Just look what's in that bag there." And the person opened it. There was a chain, a golden chain. And Amma just took it without any sense of regret or any sense of hesitation, and gave it to her and said, "Take it, go sell it, and get the money. Find your money." And immediately as the woman left, I immediately ran to her and said, "What are you doing? Now, how can you just give it like that? You know how much value that chain has, the necklace has?" So Amma asked me then this question, how much is the value, do you think? So I said it will cost around, in those days it was at least probably about $100, equivalent to $100. So Amma said, when I told Amma that, Amma immediately said, "Go after this woman, call her back." And I thought, Amma is going to get the chain back, so that's a good thing. So I went and called and yanked her hand and brought her back. And then when the woman came back, Amma said, he told me that this chain costs at least $100, so make sure you get that much money. So that was my first lesson in giving. And then what happened was when I started thinking about empowerment and empowering people, one of the most important things that you have seen also in this video, and what Amma has taught me, is about love, selfless love. And without love, you cannot empower. And as Twyla was saying, and even if it is the worst condition, if you have so much of love, I see that in Twyla's life. I was thinking about it constantly before I came here. And Twyla said that it's because of her ultimate love for her mother, no matter the selfless love that she had for her mother, no matter whether she abused her, and the fact that she could turn the worst events in her life into her advantage was because of that love. And so the love is the aspect of empowerment. And without love, and without that kind of selfless love, the empowerment is not possible, because when we think about empowering somebody, we always think about saying that, look, I'm going to give you something that you don't have and that you need. So you place yourself above the other person in a pedestal, above yourself. Whereas in real and selfless love, you are trying to serve the person and look at what their needs are and find out. That's what Bhavani was saying about when you go into the villages, you cannot just barge in and say, oh, I'm here to help you. Okay, stick up your hands. That's not the point. And so we have to understand that what their needs are, how they do, and what should be done. And this has been the philosophy that Amma has been teaching us all the time. Just another example was when in Amrita University, the first grant that was given was by the European Community Grant. And the person who got the grant came running to Amma and said, we got a $350,000 grant. The first question Amma asked was, what are you going to do with it? And the person said, oh, we're going to publish this much papers and have 2 or 3 people receive PhDs and all these things. Amma said, just give the money back. If that is your goal, just give the money back. We're not going to do that. So he said, what should we do? So Amma said, if you're going to receive money, you should use that for the good of the society. And the whole, the research projects have been guided by those principles. And the other thing, finally the last thing I just wanted to say was, we ourselves, when we look into our lives, we have been empowered by somebody in our lives. Otherwise, we would not have been standing here. You would not have been sitting here. I would not have been talking to you. So we should be grateful for those hands or the legs that has taken us so far and given us that strength and courage to do something to others. I'll just end with a very short story. Once a young man came to Amma, and he excitedly came to Amma to say that, look, Amma, I got a new job and I want to work. I'm going to work in this big corporation and they're going to give me a nice fat salary. So Amma said, okay, so so I'm so glad that you got this job, but do you know how you got this job? So he said, oh, I had a good education. I did this. I did well in my interview. She said, I'm not asking you that. So she said, today you go back home and wash your mother's hands. And then he went back home that night and he started washing. He called his mother to wash her hands. She felt kind of strange. And when she came and allowed him to wash her hands, when he started rubbing, he saw all the bruises. She used to work about 18 hours to support him. And he saw all the bruises and he started crying. And when he touched some of the bruises, she winced. And when the washing was over, what happened was the son and the mother talked for a long time. It was then he realized that after his father died at the age of 1, it was his mother who was the sole support of the family. And she was working so hard to take him to this level. And so what happened was the next day, he came and he thanked Amma. And he said, without you, I would not have realized what my mother had done for me. So that's another thing that also teaches us that today we have to be grateful to all the people who have also empowered us to be as to who we are today. Thank you so much.